July 2nd. We do have a quorum, and we'll begin with resolutions. We have RS 2018-1253, sponsor Verture, amends Resolution RS 2015-1417 to extend the duration of the water and sewer commercial paper program. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Councilwoman Allen.
Thank you. If Talia and Chris have made it up here, can we just get a quick explanation of why we're extending this and whether or not it expands how much we owe to anybody or if it grows our debt any? Or Mr. Edlin, thank you.
Actually, this one does not extend any debt. It doesn't do anything other than extend the duration of the extendable program so it will match the one that's coming up next, which will be the traditional CP program. So this program is exactly the same. We're just trying to extend the date so that they will expire at the same time.
Thank you, Council Lady. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2018-1254, sponsor Verture, authorizes the issuance and sale of water and sewer revenue bond anticipation notes in an amount not to exceed $200 million at any one time in the form of commercial paper, and providing for one or more dealer agreements issuing and paying agency agreements and credit facility agreements. There is a substitute, so I'd like to move the substitute. Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion on the substitute, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Substitute passes. Now we're on the resolution as substituted. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2018-1268, sponsor Verture, authorizes the Metro Department of Law to compromise and settle the property damage claim of Bell South Telecommunications, LLC, DBA, AT&T, Tennessee against Metro government, and the amount of $100,000. Is there a motion? So moved. It's been moved and properly seconded. Councilman Pulley.
Yes, a couple questions for Mr. Cooper.
Attorney Cooper.
Yes, it looks like Metro Water Services crew struck and damaged the fiber optics cable, evidently belonging to AT&T. Can you give me any more details than that as to what happened and why we are liable for this?
The area, the AT&T line, one call had gone out there and adequately marked it. The photographs that we have clearly show that it was marked and it was just inadvertently hit. So since it had been marked, we're liable. However, under the Governmental Tort Liability Act, we can only pay up to $100,000 in property damage, and in this case, AT&T says it's going to be over $200,000 total to fix, but we're capped at $100,000.
And Metro Water acknowledges the negligence with respect to hitting the cables.
Yes, I think agreeing to settle it and pay this amount would be an acknowledgement that we hit the line.
Okay. All right. That's enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Pulley. Councilman Cooper, at large.
At large, thank you. And with Metro Legal, just if you would go over how do you do $200,000 worth of damage to cable?
I would have to, I don't know if anyone from water is here that can
We have
explain
Mr. Honeysucker.
Exactly what happened.
Councilman, it was at John Honeysucker Metro Water. It was one of their main fiber optic areas in that on that particular street, which covered a considerable geographical area. So it hit several lines that were underneath the ground.
So when the water department went in, it went in big. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. And then another question for our legal director. This self-insured liability fund, in the course of a year, how much do we expend from this self-insured liability fund?
It's usually around $2 million.
And if we were to buy a policy for this, what do you think the premium would be?
I know years ago that was explored. I mean, that is something we would have to look into. It was determined years ago that it was far more financially prudent to self-insure.
Okay, but we haven't had a quote lately about something like
no,
this.
it's been some time.
And the $2 million annual loss, that averages out pretty well every year.
Yes, although this year we try and keep it replenished, and this year, due to budgetary reasons, we did not have $2 million for the self-insured liability fund. So we're kind of, we have the money there because we had a somewhat of a cushion, but there was no new money put in to replenish that this year for this coming fiscal year.
So the fund balance is down to, where are we now?
4.9 million.
4.9 million fund balance in the self-insured, and then about $2 million worth of costs per year against that fund balance.
On average, yeah.
So you might have a couple of years worth of money there in that fund balance.
If you did not replenish it. Now, we do have, there's an actuary that recommends how much should be added to that fund and to the judgment and losses fund. And we're in the process of going through the actuarial process right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Cooper. Councilman Glover.
So let me just kind of expand on the question that Councilman Cooper is asking. I don't sell P&C insurance, but obviously I do sell insurance, and I think one of the problems would be that we already have claims of $2 million plus. With that, what obligation do we have if the actuarials come back and say, you got to add X? What legal obligation do we have to add to that legal fund?
There's no legal obligation. I mean, the money would have to come from somewhere. So if we're liable for damages and there are not funds available in that fund, then the money would have to come from the undesignated fund balance.
Which is already down excessively low in its place right now, correct?
It is down, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Cooper.
Well, one final question. Thank you. Appreciate the time. Why would AT&T settle for $100,000 if they had a $200,000 loss?
Because the maximum we can pay under Tennessee law is $100,000.
So the legislature has gone to cap our exposure.
Correct.
So the $2 million would be 20 cases at the max.
Well, that's not just for property damage. It's 100,000 property damage, 300,000 per occurrence for personal injury.
Okay. Okay. Oh, appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilman Cooper. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2018-1269, sponsor Virture, authorizes the Metro Department of Law to compromise the settlement and settle the personal injury claim of Christina Flowers against Metro government in the amount of $25,000. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2018-1270, sponsors Pulley, Virtue, and others, authorizes the Director of Public Property to exercise an option agreement for the purchase of flood-prone property located at 3811 Dartmouth Avenue for Metro Water Services. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2018-1271, sponsor Virtue and Roberts, approves a grant from the State Farm to the Metro Nashville Fire Department for the acquisition and training of an accelerant detection K-9 team. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2018-1272, sponsors Pulley, Virtue, and Roten, approves a grant from the Friends of Green Hills Park to the Metro Nashville Parks and Recreation Department to fund the purchase of materials and labor to make various improvements to the park. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2018-1273, sponsors Withers, Virtue, and Roten, approves a grant from the Friends of Shelby Park and Bottoms to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation for the construction and installation of fencing to protect the beehives located at Cornelia Fort Air Park. Do you have a letter for approval? Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2018-1274, sponsor Virtue and Roten, approves a grant from the Tennessee State Library and Archives to the Nashville Public Library to target library materials to persons having difficulty using the library and to provide special services to children and young people. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2018-1275, sponsor Virtue and Roten, approves a Library Services and Technology Act grant from the Tennessee State Library and Archives to the Nashville Public Library to provide free digital literacy training for the citizens of Nashville. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2018-1276, sponsors Virtue and Withers, approves an amendment to a grant from the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development to the Nashville Career Advancement Center to support delivery of supplemental nutritional assistance program employment and training. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2018-1277, sponsor Virtue, approves a subaward grant from the Northern Arizona University to the Office of Family Safety to offset travel expenses of statewide attendees to the National Domestic Violence Fatality Review Initiative. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2018-1281, sponsor Virtue, approves a grant to the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee, Inc. for the purpose of conducting a well-being survey of the residents of Davidson County. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. Now we're on bills on second reading. So BL 2018-1189, we're going to move that to the Hill. BL 2018-1205, sponsor Glover, Councilman Glover, prohibits Metro from approving or entering into the sale, lease, transfer, or conveyance of property adjacent to the proposed Major League Soccer Stadium to any third party for purposes of private development. Councilman Glover.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Jameson, you and I have had some conversations about this. I know that Councilman Swope and some others are having committees, or special meetings next week. I don't think we really have a timeline on this. So give me the best way for us to not be a hindrance for them to do their work. Are we best to ask for indefinite deferral right now until we kind of look at a timeline of what they have from the committee, and then if we need to reintroduce it, then we certainly can bring it back?
Yeah, you could move to indefinitely defer with this committee's recommendation, and then at the time when you decided it was ripe to bring it back, you would notify the clerk 1 week in advance in writing, and then she would return it to the agenda.
Okay. Well, given the complexity of the issue, I'm not certain that deferring it 1 meeting or 2 meetings, Chair, is really the appropriate answer. So therefore, I'm going to ask the committee to defer indefinitely to let the committee do their work, to do the discovery and the other things that I think are going to come out and as we are looking at this. And so that would be my recommendation and my request. So I move to defer indefinitely.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Bill is indefinitely deferred. Thank you, Councilman Glover. BL 2018-1246, sponsor Vercher and Withers, adopts the 5-year consolidated plan and 2018 action plan for housing and community development and authorizing the Metro Mayor to submit the plans to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Councilman Mendez, at large.
Do we skip 1209?
It's not on the.
All right, thank you.
Any discussion? Seeing none. We're on 1246, Councilman Mendez.
All right, thanks. So I had a comment about this one, too. So I don't know if anybody from, yes, somebody from MDHA is here. I don't know whether this, I'll start with Mr. Jameson or Mr. Cooper. So as I understand it, this is a consolidated plan for MDHA that MDHA presents, but it's not MDHA's plan, it's the city's plan. Am I right about that?
That's correct.
All right. And I notice that there's a pretty deep adoption of transit-oriented development in this 5-year consolidated plan in a way that I'm not sure that the city is actually behind at this point. And I want to, at least before we vote on this, raise the issue that this plan identifies transit-oriented development as a strategy to overcome the barrier of, quote, lack of mandatory inclusionary zoning, and says that in 2018 to 2020, MDHA will identify and establish either a transit-oriented development district or redevelopment district for Envision Napier Sudicum, and that MDHA tells us that this is our plan. And I just wanted to raise the issue for the committee that we are likely to hear sometime in the future when other transit-oriented development districts are brought to us for other parts of the city, even though we don't have a transit plan, that our plan says that we're seeking transit-oriented development across the city.
Thank you, Councilman Mendez. Did you also have a question for Ms. Hubbard here? She's here with, from MDHA.
I guess I had more of that was more a statement than a question, so thanks.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Any more discussion? Councilman Cooper.
So following up on Councilman Mendez's comments, should we refer it back for third reading with specific further discussion about the role of transit-oriented development in this plan? That's
Councilman
question to you,
Mendez.
right? Would that be a good idea?
So I believe that the currently proposed transit-oriented development plan creates operating costs for Metro with no corresponding revenue. And given the budget problems we have, I think anything that creates cost, operating cost, without corresponding revenue is something that I think we just agreed on that as a group that we were going to be diligent about. So I'm personally hesitant about the idea of saying our plan, the council's plan, the city's plan, is to adopt a strategy that we know creates operating costs in the early years in exchange for property taxes 10, 15, 20 years down the road. So I believe I'm going to abstain on this because I'm not going to vote in favor of a strategy that creates cost with no corresponding revenue. But other than me abstaining at least, perhaps voting no when it gets to the floor on third reading, I just wanted to raise the issue. I don't know if there's a deeper discussion to be had. I don't think there's any question that transit-oriented development as conceived creates operating cost for the city with no corresponding revenue in the early years.
Councilman Cooper.
Well, I think every word of that is valuable to hear, and I'm grateful to Councilman Mendez. I'm assuming, and I see
Ms. Hubbard?
Ms. Hubbard here, that we do need to adopt a 5-year plan. This is her HUD directive.
Correct.
We do. And when does it need to be adopted by?
Thank you. I'm Angie Hubbard, the Director of Community Development. We have to submit this to HUD by August the 15th, or we do not get our money. And it's our apologies that we're coming at you late, but we could not even present it to you until HUD released our allocations on May the 2nd, where we could actually know what our funding is. So they did not give us a quick turnaround time. If I can clarify, every year, the 5-year consolidated plan sets a broad strategy. The annual action plan is what we're held to with HUD on how we spend CDBG, home, ESG, and HOPWA. But we do an annual report. And in that report, we talk about whether or not initiatives that we talk about in the 5-year plan are moving forward. But what HUD challenged us to do in the 5-year plan is look at strategies for achieving affordable housing and addressing underserved areas. And one of the tools that the state legislature does provide that we have to comment on are transit-oriented developments. Whether or not the city decides to move forward, that is something that we can always submit in our report and say at this time the general public chose not to move forward through a referendum on a transit plan, and our Metro Council and chose not to implement any transit-oriented development districts at that time.
Okay, thank you. So it would not be inappropriate, however, to re-refer this back to the committee on the 17th. That still gives you enough time for submission to HUD with a specific comment about the operating budget implications of the 5-year plan. You would be able to do that.
I'm going to defer to Mr. Jamison on the procedure. I'm not familiar on what re-referral would mean. Would that mean we would come back for the first reading in August for the third reading, or we're still on track for third reading in July?
He could defer this until the next meeting, July 17th, even the first meeting in August, third reading, and still be in time for your August 15th submission deadline. So at least a one-meeting deferral
Yes.
shouldn't cause any difficulty.
And we, once it's approved by council, the mayor must sign a bunch of documents, but we'll have those ready to send over to be on his desk as soon as it's signed. But we certainly want the council to have whatever appropriate comments for this plan that you need to make.
Okay, thank you. But then, Madam Chairman, I would make the move to re-refer this,
Defer one meeting.
to defer one meeting, re-refer it to the committee, and then to have, hopefully from DHA, a specific discussion of the operating budget implications of the 5-year plan.
Okay, we have a motion to defer and re-refer back to Budget and Finance. It's been moved and properly seconded. Council Lady Allen.
This may not be on the deferral, but I'll throw it out there anyway. I'd also like to ask that we refer it to the Affordable Housing Committee as well.
Okay, we can amend that motion. Council Lady Gilmore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just going to try to offer up some options as well, but I think Council Lady Berkeley did it well. I know we used to have an MDHA committee that was eliminated. So, and during this time as well, the council members, for those who wanted to come before the MDHA Housing Authority, they would actually have a meeting for us where we could ask questions, and I think that would be good as well. There used to be a breakfast, and we could go through the consolidated plan. So I just would like to offer that up. I think it would be a good way for us to do a closer look at the legislation for those that were interested. And I know that.
Well, one of the things that was reviewed by our attorney is the open meetings requirement for when we have elected officials and at a meeting, we have to advertise that. We had 4 public hearings where I believe it was publicly noticed that anyone, elected officials and the general public, could come and comment. But anytime, we're available to answer any questions that members of council have.
Okay, that's fine. I was just offering it up. I think it would just give more opportunities for the council members.
Absolutely.
In addition to the public. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Council Lady Gilmore. So there is a motion to defer, re-refer back to Budget and Finance, and refer to the ad hoc committee. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Cooper.
Second.
Okay. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Bill is deferred, re-referred back to budget, and referred to the ad hoc committee.
Thank you.
Now we're on BL 2018-1247, sponsors Henderson, Rosenberg, and others, authorizes the acquisition of 0 right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes the Old Hickory Boulevard sidewalk improvements. It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Bill is recommended. Now we're on BL 2018-1248, sponsors Haywood, Virtue, and others, authorizes the acquisition of certain right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the Vailview Drive sidewalk improvements. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Bill is recommended. Now we're back on to Bill 2018-1189. Sponsor Davis, Scott Davis, and Hurt amends the Metro Code pertaining to the Procurement Non-Discrimination Program. That's deferred by rule, Mike.
We don't have a letter. We don't have
I don't have a letter of approval from the sponsors. Thank you, Councilman Glover. It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Bill is deferred.
That's it.
And we are adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.